established Rich coming right back at you. Every once in a while, a moment happens in sports that makes people stop what they're doing and look at the screen just to make sure they read the number right. That's what happened when Bam Adebayo put 83 points on the board. 83, not 30, not 40, not 50. 83 points in an NBA game. This is the type of number that makes people immediately start looking through the history books. Because when you hear a number like that, there's only one name basketball fans think about: Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's 81-point game has been one of those moments that live in basketball legends. People don't just remember it. They rewatch it, they still argue about it, and they still talk about how difficult some of those shots were. So when Bam Adebayo passed that number with 83, a lot of people were shocked, a lot of people were impressed, and some people were just hating. Not disagreeing, not criticizing, just hating. And one of the people who seemed the most upset about it was Nick Young. Now, Swaggy P went on Gil's Arena, and he was obviously not feeling the moment. In fact, he looked like the whole situation was personally offending him. He started talking about how he could have stopped at 81 to show respect to Kobe. He said Kobe would be rolling over in his grave right now. He said Bam a good player, but he ain't 83 nice, and that was just the beginning.
What's your reaction to Bam Adebayo?
Hey, man,
Fuck
83. Fuck Bam, man, the Wizards. Fuck all that shit. All that record's supposed to be broken. Hell no. Did you see that? The Wizards. See, I'll be talking about the Wizards. Y'all always support the Wizards. Fucking G League team. French nigga getting dunked on the whole time and shit. Playing no defense.
Swaggy, it is the Wizards. They have been known to be a slump buster for a lot of players.
He nice, but he not 83 nice. Like, come on, man. This is Kobe. Kobe probably rolling over in his grave right now. Like, you? Fuck that. Did you see how he was going for it at 74? That was nasty.
Swaggy, how is one supposed to go for it if they're trying to
get out the game? You win it by 30.
But if you're that close.
No.
If you had 74 right there with like 4 minutes left.
If I had 81, I would have stopped.
No, what I'm saying
not trying to get fouled with 1 minute left.
No, what I'm saying is
1 minute left, up 30. I'm trying my hardest. They triple teaming him, and he still get the ball. How bad you got to be as a Wizard?
What I'm saying is, I'm asking you a question. If you're the player and you have 74 with 4 minutes left and 81, is that close to you? You want to get pulled out of the game? And you can.
I would get pulled out. Anybody, any coach can pull you out.
You can be number 2 of all time.
If Pat Riley was there, Pat Riley would have put him out.
I'm not asking if Pat Riley. I'm asking you as a player.
Pat Riley was there.
Wanted to get pulled out at that moment in time. Would you be mad if coach pulled you out and you was that close?
Now that was different.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
No, I would be mad. No, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be that thirsty to try to break the record. No, I wouldn't.
Swag, if you were in the 70s with time left in the game playing the Washington Wizards.
That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like.
But you're not going to try to get...
a bunch of salesmen and car dealership owners and shit. That's what it looked like last night. That's the Wizards.
But you're not going to try to break the 81 point? Kobe's 81 in that moment?
If I got 81 already, with 1 minute to go.
You got 1 minute to get 83.
Bro, the Wizards was trying to let him get it.
Would you? What you have 81, and the coach said
no, because I wouldn't have the teammates that will foul the Wizards.
We're not talking about all that. We're asking you, would you go for it? You just answer.
But you got to put everything in context. They was fouling the Wizards for them to miss free throws so they could get the ball back. Like that's crazy.
Good strategy. Good strategy.
What I'm saying is, if you was Bam and that was your team doing it, would you not have tried to get it? Is all I'm asking. You've been happy just like he was, celebrating just like he did.
Now, after seeing that, you can probably understand why the internet started talking. Because this wasn't just criticism. This was a man who looked personally disturbed by another man's accomplishment. And the thing that made people scratch their heads the most was the Kobe Bryant argument. Saying you respect Kobe is one thing. Most basketball fans do. But saying you know how Kobe Bryant feels from the grave, that's where a lot of people started raising their eyebrows. Because nobody speaks for a legend after they gone. Not former teammates, not friends, not podcasts. Nobody. And then there was the other side of Swaggy P's argument. He started talking about the Washington Wizards like they were some kind of G League team. Like the performance didn't count because of who was on the other side of the floor. But here's the thing about the NBA. Everybody on that floor is one of the best basketball players in the world. And scoring 83 points against any NBA team is not normal. It don't matter if it's a championship team. It don't matter if it's a rebuilding team. It don't matter if they having a bad season. 83 points is still 83 points. But when a moment like this happens, something interesting starts to show itself. You start seeing how different people react to somebody else's success. Some people celebrate it, some people respect it, and some people start looking for reasons to dismiss it. Not because the performance wasn't great, but because greatness has a way of making certain people uncomfortable. And when you watch Swaggy P's reaction, you start wondering something. Is this really about basketball? Or is this something else entirely? Because the conversation wasn't about his footwork. It wasn't about his shot making. It wasn't even about how hard it is to score 83 points in an NBA game. The conversation turned into something completely different. People started trying to explain why it shouldn't matter. And that's when you start seeing a very old pattern showing itself again.
Yeah, I mean, first thing you think is how, because of, not because of him, but because of the way he plays, and I saw only made 6 threes, but 40 free throws or something like that. Tells the story right there.
Free throws 40 feet from the rim. I can't explain some of those calls, but that's all I got to say on that.
Does that give you any inspiration to go for some of the bigger scoring numbers in the history?
Yeah, so I think we're playing a league where there's plenty of inspiration to look up to. But yeah, I see.
Are you kidding right now? I was like, no, what's up? They're 36 and 28, or whatever they are. They're getting ready to be 37 and 28. And they're like, no, Bam has 77. And I was like, huh? And then I watched the last 3 minutes, and it was a different type of basketball.
First of all, y'all are blaming me. You should be blaming the head coach. Get that first. I was not the one letting me go one-on-one the whole game until I had 70, and then you started to send a double. At that point, I got 70 with 9 minutes left to go in the game. You think I'm not going for it? And that's the thing that's crazy when they talk about the unethical part of the basketball. I'm like, if I have 70 with 9 minutes to go, who would just be like, coach, just take me out? Yeah, right. Anybody in my shoes with 9 minutes left? Okay. A minute? All right. 9? Yeah, I'm going for it. You can't be mad at that. If you are mad, I don't care, because a lot of people, they're upset because if they did play, they never had a chance to get that close to chasing greatness.
When somebody does something extraordinary, some people don't celebrate the moment. They start looking for ways to shrink it. They start looking for ways to put conditions on it. They start looking for ways to say, yeah, but, and that's exactly what's happening to Bam. Bam put up 83 points. The first argument was the team he played against, the Washington Wizards. People said they were having a bad season. They ain't have a strong defense. People said the game was a blowout. But here's the thing about that argument. Every historic performance has context. When Wilt scored 100 points, people was talking about the defense. When Kobe scored 81 points, people said Toronto's defense was bad. When Devin Booker scored 70, people said his team was fouling late in the game. It happens every time. The moment somebody does something rare, the internet immediately starts looking for an asterisk. And that's why Swaggy P's reaction stood out so much. Because his argument wasn't just about the game, it was about legacy. He said if he was in that position, he would have stopped at 81 out of respect for Kobe. Now think about that for a second. Basketball is a competitive sport. You play to win. You play to score. You play to perform at the highest level possible. No player on that court is counting their points and saying, let me stop right here so I don't pass somebody else. That's not how sports work. If you really think about the mentality that made Kobe, it was the exact opposite of that. Kobe was known for one thing, relentless competition. The man had a mentality that said, if you can score, score. If you can dominate, dominate. If you can break records, break them. That's what made him a legend. And that's why a lot of people felt uncomfortable hearing someone say they knew how Kobe would feel about this moment. Because Kobe Bryant never built his legacy asking people to hold back. He built his legacy by pushing people to go further. And that's why moments like this are supposed to be celebrated. When one player does something historic, it doesn't erase the legends. It adds to the history of the game. Wilt Chamberlain didn't erase Bill Russell. Michael Jordan didn't erase Magic Johnson. Kobe Bryant didn't erase Michael Jordan. The game keeps evolving, keeps adding new moments, and every generation adds its own chapter. But there's another part of this story that's even more interesting, because this reaction ain't just about basketball. It's about human nature. When somebody does something incredible, you learn a lot about the people watching. Some people clap, some people smile, some people say that's dope, but other people start looking for reasons why it don't count, why it was easy, why it wasn't deserved, why it wasn't impressive. And sometimes that says more about the person talking than it does about the person who made history. Because greatness has a way of revealing people. It reveals admiration. It reveals respect. And sometimes it reveals envy. Now, that don't mean everybody has to agree. Sports are built on debate, on opinions. But there's a difference between analysis and dismissal. There's a difference between criticizing a game and trying to erase a moment. And that's why this 83-point night became such a big conversation. Not just because of the number, but because of the reaction. Because sometimes the most interesting part of history is not the moment itself. It's how people respond to it. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.